So how's it going, everybody? Hope you all had a good week and are having a good day so far. On today's video, I want to kind of go over talking about road rage on a motorcycle and confronting drivers after you have a close call and whether or not it's appropriate. So I put out a video not too long ago talking about close calls on a motorcycle, and I went over a story about one in particular that I had that scared me pretty bad. And the whole gist of the video was basically getting back on your motorcycle after having a close call. And while I was filming that video, I had originally left the story in it of when I did confront the driver, the young lady of that car, after that close call incident. But I'd decided to leave that part out of the video because, like I said in the comment, the pinned comment of that video, that I just didn't feel like it was, it just didn't go along with the message of the video itself. But anyways, long story short, I did have a talk with the young lady. I was very as polite as I could be, considering how upset I was, and it got me to thinking as I was reading the comments from that pinned comment, the replies to it. It was suggested by one of the commenters that maybe I should do a video talking about that, confronting drivers after having a close call. So I thought, yeah, I should probably do that, but I wanted to think about it for a little while and kind of formulate a better opinion. I didn't want to just hop on my bike the following week and just start rambling on about it. In my opinion, there are a few instances where, yes, it's appropriate to have a talk with somebody after you have a close call. But, I've seen the videos on YouTube where there's guys that ride up next to somebody's car and they'll punch their mirror off, or they'll pull up next to them at a stoplight and they'll just start screaming and yelling at them. And I absolutely do not think that is in any way, shape, or form appropriate or acceptable to do when you're on a motorcycle or even in a car. Now, I understand when you're on a motorcycle, it's easy to confront somebody and be a dick to them and smack their mirror off their car and then ride away real quickly. Every once in a while you'll see these videos online where a guy he'll ride up next to a car, knock the mirror off or say something stupid or punch somebody's window, and then they go riding off and they end up eating shit. I don't know, I just think that's funny. Maybe it's like God's way of telling them they overreacted or something. But anyways, back to the point of my opinion about confronting them is, yes, there are certain times and situations where you should have a talk with the driver. I think it's appropriate if you're going the same direction as somebody and you have a close call with them and they happen to pull into, say, a grocery store parking lot or something like that. You could pull in behind them and stop by their car and have a talk with them. But you don't want to do it, at least I wouldn't want to do it, nor would I ever do it. I wouldn't do it if I was angry, if I was still scared or upset, because when your adrenaline's flowing like that, the first things out of your mouth are going to be aggressive tone, aggressive words. It's not going to be a fun thing for the person in the car. Of course, realizing that most of the time you have a close call with the car, it's simply because they didn't see you and they obviously didn't mean to cut you off or make you almost crash. But so let's say you pull in behind somebody after having a close call with them. You have to approach the vehicle and the person in the car. It's all case-by-case scenario. I mean, if it was like an older woman or an older gentleman and you had a close call with them and it's obvious, they're just, I don't know, they did it by mistake and it was pretty obvious. You don't want to approach like some 80-year-old woman and start screaming and yelling at her, because you're going to give her a heart attack, she's going to die, and then you're going to go to jail for murder or whatever. But so you have to kind of judge who the driver is and decide what type of response you should have or what type of confrontation you should have with that driver. In my case, when I approached the young lady in that car after having a close call, I saw that it was a young lady, and I wasn't gonna drive up and scream and yell at her, because I wouldn't want my daughter getting yelled at by some stranger, some guy on a motorcycle. That being said, I would only confront a driver if it was I was in the proper mindset. You know, if I knew that I could approach a driver and have a calm, cool head about it, then yeah, I'm going to do it. But I am under no circumstance or in any way am I ever going to confront anybody by chasing after them and running them down, being aggressive, and screaming and yelling at them. Well, number one, that's just not me. That's not who I am. And number two, if you're chasing somebody aggressively, the chances of you having an accident on your own motorcycle because you made some dumb mistake is even higher. By doing that, if you chase somebody down and you start screaming and yelling at them, you're just kind of reinforcing the perception that a lot of people have of bikers as being aggressive and angry. And I'm not saying that every single car driver out there thinks about motorcyclists this way, but with the popularity of shows like Sons of Anarchy or, you know, any other given stereotype that Hollywood is putting out about motorcyclists and bikers in general, you know, if you confront somebody and you're angry and pissed off and screaming and yelling at them, that's not going to change their mind about anything. It's just going to make them dislike you even more and dislike the motorcycling community even more. Now, what about when you're driving down the road and you pull up next to a car and you see them on their cell phone and they're bobbing and weaving all over the place? Should you pull up next to them and kind of, you know, do the little telephone thing? Sure, you could do that, but just don't be a dick about it. I've never known, not one time in my life, that anybody's ever been, you know, aggressive towards me, that's even changed my mind about anything. It just, you know, just made me want to be even more aggressive back to them. So confrontations and things like that, you know, they should, I don't even know if this is an oxymoron, but when you confront somebody about something, just try to be as polite as possible. But I'm lucky enough to live in a state where it's illegal to be talking on your cell phone or be playing on it or doing anything with a handheld device while you're driving a car. So we're fortunate around here that the whole cell phone thing, it just doesn't, I hardly ever notice anybody on their phones. I mean, it happens, you know, once or twice a week, but I don't confront them, don't say anything to them. I just get out of their way. If they're on their phone and weaving all over the place, I'll either just hang back or just accelerate past them and just get out of their, you know, get out of their area code, their area of operation, and just avoid them. I mean, it's really that easy. If you see a driver doing something stupid, you just back off and give them room, man. Or get ahead of them, or, you know, do something. Just get away from them. That kind of brings me to another point. We're all familiar with that saying, loud pipes save lives. Do they really? I mean, anymore? Do they really? I don't know about you guys, but depending on the type of car that you drive, myself, I drive a late model Ford SUV, and when I'm in that car, it's so soundproof and so quiet inside there, I don't even hear a motorcyclist until after they pass me. So you could have a nice big V-twin with a throaty exhaust on it. I don't know where the heck you're at until you pass me, just because of the way sound works, you know. It's just, so I'm wondering to myself if that whole thing is even true anymore. It might have been true back in the day when people driving around with their windows down in the summertime all the time because they didn't have air conditioning and they can hear things around them. But hell, you driving around out on the road and there's an emergency vehicle coming with their sirens blaring, and sometimes people don't even hear those things coming, and those are way louder than motorcycle exhaust. So in closing to this whole thing, my opinion about confronting drivers after having close calls is do it, absolutely, if you can do it in a calm and cool, collected manner and not be a complete dick. But if you're angry, if you want to punch a window or punch a mirror or something like that, don't do it. Don't do it, because it's just bad news all around. So I hope everybody's enjoyed the video on this topic for this week. It's cold out here. It's like 45 degrees or something, and I'm all in this insulated gear and there's nobody else on the road around me, and I feel fine. So what are you guys' opinion on confronting drivers in cars? Have you done it? Do you do it? How do you act when you do it? Let me know down in the comment section down below, because I'd really like to read your story. I always like to get feedback from people watching the videos and, you know, their perspective of things. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and sign off and finish my ride up here. and go ahead and get back to the house. Everybody take it easy, ride safe, have a good day, and we will see you on the next video.
I've been waiting for this moment since my first breath in. Never would have thought I'd be afraid to begin, but here I am, the edge of the water, wondering if I can swim. Never seem to notice all the days pass through, but in this final moment I'm still chasing the truth. I want an explanation why I can't stay here forever in my youth. And if I press on